So our last item is the board president's report, and I wanted to save this for last. I could not do it last meeting. I'm sorry about that. Trustee Manley did a great job having some lovely summary remarks of her board service, and I just couldn't do it at that meeting. So I do have a few things just as my last report to this board, and I wanted to start a little bit with where we were before Dr. Swift came on board, which is appropriate given the result of your superintendent evaluation this evening. So you can leave if you don't want to hear any of this. Before Dr. Swift came, I think the trustees were getting the very best of what Microsoft Office had to offer when Microsoft Office became a company in the 1970s or 80s in terms of our templates and the professional level of our slides. When Dr. Swift arrived, everything improved in stature, including even this evening, you could see these templates, the themes, the professional level in which they're done, the title at the bottom. Things look lovely. You're using more recent font. I mean, just the level of professionalism and improvement in visibility is profound. And that's Dr. Swift, also Dr. Swift executing in a wonderful team. Having Amy Osinski do some of that visibility work, that chart we have that Trustee Basquette was talking about all of our millages, that one is a beautiful visual of all the millages that we have. It's easy to explain that to people now. Those kinds of visibility and conversations that let trustees do a much easier job weren't there before Dr. Swift got here. Before Dr. Swift arrived, we struggled. If there was an opening on our team, it was hard to recruit from within because we just had not invested in our own people and raised them to be the kind of leaders that we all got to see tonight in front of us. Mr. DeAngelis, Ms. Parks, Ms. Linden, all three of them are really raising the bar in terms of the kinds of leadership we have. Che Carter and many of the people. The kinds of teamwork and expectations that Dr. Swift has set for this team make it more possible to think about looking within. We didn't really have that much of an opportunity, but that's what good leadership looks like when you start investing in your own people and raising them to be good leaders. It just starts to show in every way, and we see that. The other thing we started doing when Dr. Swift arrived, and we should have been doing this all along, but we just didn't, we started winning national awards. And it's not because we didn't have the caliber of programming there before. We just didn't try, I don't think. But the kind of, for many of my colleagues even sitting here tonight, if you've been to a blue ribbon school award, you can see the kind of pride and joy that everybody in that building has, including the children. There's cookies, there's balloons, there's a lot of excitement about their worlds for that moment. And Che Carter's Clegg being a school to watch was another wonderful celebration. That inspires people and gives them such an enormous sense of pride. The team that we've assembled, the cabinet, are just astounding. We have a lovely mix of people who have been here with us a long time, like Leanne Dickinson-Kelly, who has enormous institutional knowledge and expertise, complemented by some of the new folks that are here because of you. And seeing Marios and Emil leading the way on environmental sustainability, it's so exciting to see the facilities report and know that we have someone of Emil's caliber here to shepherd that work, whatever the board decides that to be. Marios gets called on every other day, I think, to go fix a school, whether it's Detroit or Benton Harbor or whatever, and to have him on our staff and part of our team is just a huge privilege. It's just a huge privilege. Mr. Komsa has stepped in to be the interim superintendent. He is the kind of person that you just trust with anything. And he has guided us through many legal and other, he's helped us navigate some challenging water. So I leave my service with a lot of confidence that the people that we have running the school district, the kind of pride that people have, is something that I could be proud of. As a parent, someone that lives here, I have a lot of confidence in. So I wanted to switch a little bit and talk about my colleagues. And I'll start with Trustee Basket, just because she's right close to me. She has really set the bar in terms of the kind of investment in professional development that we all hope that a board invests. For her to win, and I can't remember the name of the award, remind me of the award, basically, you know everything, basically, that there is to know for MASB. She's done all of the training. But it's also exceptional to have someone of that caliber that's been willing to invest the kind of personal time it takes to do that work on our team. And it's wonderful to have someone with 15 years of service on our team who's signed up for 4 more years. So you'll be approaching 20 years of service for the next round. That's tremendous, and it helps. It helps you know, even as we talked tonight, when she spoke about how hard it is to go through the kind of capital investment campaign, but also the work, that's a fair warning, but you also have a fair amount of confidence that you have people here that have been there and done that before, and that also helps, because you can always look to her. Is this normal? How did you do this before? And you'll need some of that kind of counseling and discussion to get through this next phase. So, Trustee Basket, congratulations on your re-election. Thank you for your continued service, and I'm really happy to continue to work with you at the Democratic Party level. Trustee Mitchell, seeing her come on the board with a lot of passion and a lot of personal achievement, and just watching the awards you've been winning this past year alone is profound. You're a wonderful voice in our community, and it's nice to have you on this board at this table, holding people accountable, but also inspiring them and thanking them. I remember when she first got on the board and I needed a treasurer. Nobody wanted to be that, and I'm like, please, trustee, would you be the treasurer? And she said yes. And then she spent the extra time, I know Mario spent the extra time, and Dr. Swift, getting up to speed quickly for a new person to come into, basically a $300 million budget, if you think about beyond the operating budget, and say, yep, I'm your person. And she embraced that. And when she had an opportunity to leave that this past year, she said, you know what, I'm good. I want that role. And that's what I think we can continue to expect from Trustee Mitchell, is that she will stand up for what's asked and needed of her and do a fine job. And it's been a privilege to serve with you. So I'm looking forward to your next 2 years. Trustee Kelly, I loved what you shared about me bargaining with you to have you go cast a vote when everyone wanted to be at a graduation ceremony, and the trade-off was I had to pace you for a half marathon. I forgot about that. But what I really remember about you is early on in your service, we had the opportunity to go to the National School Board Association conference. I had never been before. We never had the money before to invest like that, so it was a huge privilege for me to go. But that one cornered me in the hall at 11 p.m. Mountain Time, the first day of the conference, to discuss school funding and Proposal A and how that worked. And she wouldn't leave. She wouldn't leave. I couldn't get to my room, and she just stayed there, and we kept talking. And it's that kind of tenacity and attention to detail that serves our community so well. You will do a fine job navigating all the things we talked about tonight, the equity plan into the strategic plan, a potential $1.2 billion need and investment in our schools, your commitment and passion for our special education program, students and families is to be applauded and will serve us well. So congratulations on your next 4 years, and I'm confident we're in good hands with you here. Trustee Gaynor, it has been an enormous pleasure to serve with you. One of my favorite moments with you most recently was sitting almost side by side with the Tübingen group that visited. And they had a profound and vast discussion about schools. Let us have that kind of discussion. And what was so nice about the whole thing for me personally was that you and I were lockstep in sync in just about all of our remarks. And it was a great reminder of how much we all come together at the end of the day for the things we share. And we are equally compassionate about so many things for this school district. And I know you will serve the district well. You have a great attention to detail as well. You hold people accountable. You do a lovely job with that. But the other thing I would share is just it's been wonderful to be so aligned with you on so many things. And I think it's that kind of sense of team and camaraderie that helps build confidence in the whole community. So I'm excited about your next 2 years of service. Trustee Manley, you are the penultimate community leader. I don't think there's anything you haven't done here. When I was listening to all the things you're involved with, there isn't a better model of what it looks like to be an engaged and passionate community leader that takes all of your roles so seriously. And I'm so proud of having served with you and stood by your side and shared so many concerns and so many opportunities and so many successes. We passed things together, we cheered things together, we campaigned together. It's been a true privilege to serve with you, and I look forward to your continued role leading this community in the so many ways that you do. So thank you. And you'll be teaching next year to help our numbers as well, so I appreciate that. Trustee Lightfoot, while she's not here, you guys got to hear last week how much we fought when we got on the board together. And there was an unfortunate tornado drill where we ended up in the basement of the library. I'll never forget it because it gave Simone and I a chance to fight, and fight we did. While the community was all there, we were just maybe too much alike at the end of the day. And so it took us a while to square up and be on the same side of things and see and align our thinking. That was a rough first year, though, for everyone that was on this board. I know Susan would remember. And it's been wonderful to watch her emerge as the kind of statesman for this district, as well as her work for our environment at the national level at the same time. That kind of raw passion and commitment is the kind of thing that you hope people have, but not everybody has. I think all of us have it, otherwise you wouldn't bother campaigning and doing all the work that you do. But Simone uniquely has emerged with a strong voice, and I know we could put her anywhere, and she would represent us well. She would inspire people and represent us well. So it's been an enormous privilege for me to serve with her, and I look forward to her next 2 years as well. If I had to give any advice looking ahead, there's a couple things I would say. Just having learned, I tend to only learn the hard way. My parents could tell you that. If you had a chance to talk with them last week, they probably said that. So, and that is the trust part of the term trustee is so important. I didn't quite understand all of it at first, but what I came to learn when we were cutting the way we had to, which was very traumatic for me, there were moments and years where it seemed like we had lost the public's trust. And that was hard as a trustee to go through, but what was worse about that was that I think all of our kids suffered as well. And it took a different team with Dr. Swift and others to earn back the trust of the community. Bad things happen when you lose the community's trust. So don't lose the community's trust. Good things happen when you have it. And right now, we have it. Our district is strong. Our parents are enrolling their kids. The first thing you see when we lose that trust is people disenrolling. And we are in an area where people have not just another choice, they have good choices. So it's different for us. We have to compete with that and be relevant with that and earn their trust. And the second and last thing I would say as a guiding principle, which has been important to me all the days, and you know what I'm going to say because I say it all the time, is that students are really our first group of people that we're serving. You know, if things go well, they never hear about us at all. They don't even know we exist. And that's what, like, being a good parent means. And that's what the role of a trustee means. For our kids, things go well. They never even know what we're doing because we are anticipating their needs. We're providing for them before they need it. Things are smooth in their experience growing up, and they just don't have to think about it. And that's what you want. You want our primary constituents, the ones who don't have a voice. They can't vote. They can't come to the mic. Well, they can come to the mic when they're older and say things, but our little kids and even our older kids shouldn't have to. So those would be the two things I would leave you all with is keep the trust strong of the community. Good things happen when you have it. Really hard times fall when you lose it, and it's hard to get it back. And we have been fighting hard to get it back, and we have it. And the students are our first and foremost constituents that we're serving, if you want to think about it that way. But it's an enormous privilege to serve them. And I think that's what our community votes us in for. They want someone here paying attention to all the detail, all these reports, that starts to think about what does that mean for kids, right? Do we do the, half a $500 million strategy knowing it doesn't get us there, or do we do the full thing? The kids don't know we're having that conversation, and hopefully they never will, because they're trusting that the people in these seats make good decisions on their behalf. So with that, I'll close and just say thank this community and thank this district for the enormous privilege it's been to serve what I think is the best place to live in the United States, and I hope to keep it that way. So thank you all for that, and I think that's our last item. Thank you. And with that, we are adjourned. Thank you.